All right, I want to take a minute to go over the nature of the in-class essays. And I want to take a look at the first one just to make sure everybody's clear about what I'm asking of them, okay? And the first one is located in week 14. You can get to the first essay by either going down here and clicking on week 14, and that will take you to it. I'm going through the pages this way. And there's Nzuma Ntato, and this is the essay right here, okay? So you can click on that and it will take you to the essay assignment. Now, mind you, you're going to see something like this. If you go through pages, it will be essentially the same. It's going to ask you to find one element that comes up in 3 different sections of World of Wonders. Most of you are going through modules. Let me show you how that looks. It's essentially the same. I'm going to go through modules. There's the orientation, week 1, week 2, week 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And here's the World of Wonders essay. There's the video where I go through how to go through it. Now here it is one more time. And you will see, you won't see any of that. You will see this. And now, mind you, it's going to say the same thing. Find one element that comes up in 3 different sections of World of Wonders in the first 68 pages. Now, it's going a little bit off the screen, but it says, write a quick outline that sets out the topics for 3 different body paragraphs. Then come up with your answer to the question. And I want to emphasize your answer. What I don't want to hear is just repeating many of the things I've gone over. I really want to hear your interpretation, okay? Your insight into it, your perspective on it. That will be based on the book itself. It won't be a matter of, oh, I like the book, I don't like, it won't be that. It will go into the nature of a theme or an element that you identify, that you think is important in the book itself, okay? Write 3 body paragraphs that describe and analyze the different passages of the book where the element you have chosen comes up, okay? And so you will have your interpretation of the book itself. No quotations are needed. You don't need them. Instead, explain the passage in a few sentences that show you have the important elements, and then go into why. That's a shift into the analytical mode, your insight, why you think it's important. So a few sentences on what's going on, and then a few more sentences on why you think it's important. So a body paragraph should be, I don't know, maybe 5 to 8 sentences. It should show some understanding, both some detail and some understanding of why it's important. Find one element in 1 through 68, and then you would write it right here. Okay, let me show you a couple of the students who have written very good essays. They're not perfect, but they're darn good. Okay, here's one of them. And what the student did was started off with a thesis statement. Okay, and this is a good thesis. Well, Amy Nzuma Ntato moved past many situations where people belittled her. She fought through them and found ways to move past them because her surroundings showed her how incredible everything is. And now that's a good thesis. And notice that it stands by itself at the top. What I'd like you guys to learn is a single thesis and introduction. In other words, only your thesis is your introduction. Since a fully developed introduction is going to limit where you go with the body paragraphs. But that answers the question. Okay? He's going to write on, the student's going to write on how Nzuma Ntato moved past many situations where people belittled her. That's the theme. What he has not done is pick one element, in other words, one image, such as the jellyfish or the catalpa tree or something like that. He's picked a theme, how she moves past when people belittle her. That's up to him. Okay, that's excellent. And then he talks about the comb jelly. And notice, he really knows what he's doing. Okay. And at the end, notice these kind of elements. Amy explains how it's a luxury to be warmed by the sun after the rain, which I see as a cry for help, since she felt that she was high, that her high was being dimmed. And it's very important. That is the student's interpretation. What's absolutely essential is that's the student's. It's not mine. It's not obvious either. It's the student's interpretation. That's what I'm looking for. He shows both an understanding of those passages and provides an insight into them, okay, with the comb jelly. You don't necessarily have to format it this way where you point out the comb jelly element and put the page number, but it doesn't hurt, okay? And then it comes up with the touch me not, okay? Again, he goes into detail and at the end gives his insight. I would like to see it developed a little bit more, but you know what? This is excellent, okay? And then the Xolotl, I can't pronounce it properly, that animal, that Mexican animal, that has those peculiar abilities to regrow limbs. And then he goes into why he thinks it's important. I think Amy used these statements to show a cry for help, showing that you should always smile. She realized as an adult now that through those hardships, it made her who she is. And mind you, there are typos and other issues in this, and it's officially a comma splice. That's not what I'm worried about. This is an in-class essay. It's not about the grammar being perfect. I'm not going to concern myself with that. I can follow the idea, and the idea is an independent one and an insightful one. This is excellent writing. And then he repeats the thesis at the end. So I want to show you how it's structured. It should be at the top, and there should be a quick little outline at the top. But you know what? This is really good. Thesis at the top, and then 3 body paragraphs that show an understanding of the details and provide an insight each and every time, and then restate the thesis at the end. This general approach generally works quite well. If an instructor later on in your academic career asks for something different, you should be able to adjust your approach to it. But this approach that I'm showing you should work pretty well. Here's another student in a different class where what she's done, and you can see all the detail she has. Notice the thesis statement at the top. Nexhukumatatil, use of nature and all the wonders of the living world that often go unnoticed in our daily lives, is weaved into her childhood experiences as she reminisces on the memories of protection and shelter from the catalpa tree, the shield of the narwhal's tooth, and the fiercely protective cactus wren. Now, one thing I want to point out here is the use of a parallel. Catalpa tree, narwhal tooth, and fiercely protective cactus wren. That generally works well for an in-class essay, for the thesis statement of an in-class essay. It sets up the body paragraphs. That type of parallel does that very well. Once again, the student didn't really write an outline. I would like to see a really quick little outline. No need for Roman numerals and all that other stuff. Just a quick little sketch. But you know what? This is extremely well done. And then you can see she goes into an enormous amount of detail here and shows that she really knows the catalpa tree, and then goes into why it's important. It shields her from the uncomfortable questions of what are you and where are you from? And that's the student's insight into what's going on here. Okay, and once again, lots of detail shows that she knows what she's writing about and knows it very well, and then goes into the analysis. And once again, the thesis at the end, that is a well-developed answer to the question. And so what I'm looking for with this is something from the first 68 pages or so, and then come up with your answer to the question. That's your thesis, then your body paragraphs, and then restate your thesis at the end. Okay? Good luck with this, guys, and take care.